The Young and the Restless scoop for Monday, May 26, reveals Phyllis Summers will have some choice words for Sally Spectra. Also coming up on Restaurant Talk, Audra Charles will pitch an idea to Kyle Abbott. Plus, Holden Novak will get under Claire Grace's skin. Y&R spoilers tease Kyle will tell Claire that Audra texted him to meet her in the lounge. So he needs to go down there. Claire will nag him, saying he doesn't think it's a good idea. "I'm neutralizing her. It's how the corporate game is played," he'll reply. In the jazz club, Holden will see Audra and ask if she's drinking alone. She'll say she doesn't need his company. Then Kyle will show up and Holden will leave. To get a proposition from a rival was surprising. Kyle will say, "You know me, Kyle. I just love to shake things up," she'll reply. Audra will suggest they turn their rivalry into a publicity gimmick and play up the competition between their companies, making it the perfume war of the century. Kyle will admit he's intrigued, but it'll benefit Vibranti more than Abbott. But Audra will add it could catapult both companies. Kyle will tell her he'll think about it. Upstairs, Holden will see Claire at the bar and join her. He'll ask why she's up there drinking by herself when her boyfriend's downstairs with Audra. When she asks how he knows Audra, he'll say they go back a ways. Then he'll ask her if Kyle and Audra ever had a relationship that wasn't professional. Whether they did or not doesn't really matter, now does it? She'll reply. Unless that is because you're the jealous one. Holden will change the subject to her grandfather. He'll say he knows about the rivalry between the Abbotts and Newmans, and comment her grandfather can't be too happy about her dating Kyle. Audra and Kyle will arrive, and after Holden and Audra leave, Kyle will tell Claire what went down. He'll say he's trying to figure out what Audra's up to. "Maybe it has nothing to do with Abbott and everything to do with you," Claire will reply. Meanwhile, Sally and Billy Abbott will finish a run at the lookout. Sally will bring up Phyllis, because of course she will. Billy will say he's not looking back on firing Phyllis and hiring her. But Sally won't let up, and they'll repeat the same conversation they've been having for weeks. At Crimson Lights, Phyllis will listen in as Amanda Sinclair talks to Dumas on the phone. She'll say the Winters family wants to set up a meeting with him, but she'll handle it. "Looks like I'm not the only one trying to get an audience with Aristotle Dumas," Phyllis will say when Amanda sees her there, but Amanda will say he's just not interested. Phyllis will tell her friend she's trying to get funding for her business because of her son. Amanda will say she feels for him and for her. "Why does it matter so much that Aristotle is your backer?" she'll ask. Phyllis will say she has an agenda and it's going to blow her mind. So she'll repeat exactly what she said last week about Dumas taking over Chancellor. Amanda will ask if she'd like to run it and she'll say yes. "I have to admit it's a pretty inspired plan," Amanda will reply. But she still doesn't think Phyllis will change Dumas' mind. However, Phyllis will say if Amanda gets her a top position at Chancellor, she'll make her a top executive. Then Billy and Sally will walk in and hear Phyllis telling Amanda she has to make it work. "What do you have to make work?" Billy will interject. "Excuse me, Billy, I am talking to my friend right here," Phyllis will reply. "It's really none of your business." Then she'll warn him what she's about to do is going to blow everyone out of the water. "It sounds like Billy firing you was the best thing for you," Sally will quip. But Phyllis will tell her not to be so cocky, she hasn't earned anything. "The only thing you've earned is an extravagant gift from your latest conquest," she'll add. "Is that the price a roll in the hay with you is going for these days?" Amanda will smirk as Sally starts to get angry. "Are you kidding me right now?" Sally will ask incredulously. But Phyllis will say there's definitely a price. Certainly Adam and Nick paid for it. She'll get in their faces before she leaves. Billy will ask Amanda if Phyllis was being sincere or if it was just Phyllis being Phyllis. "I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we?" she'll reply. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Welcome to The Young and the Restless Daily Way app for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On The Young and the Restless today, Michael dug deep for every ounce of conviction he could find and did the unthinkable. He broke up with Victor. The longtime Newman lawyer summoned all of his courage and entered the lion's den, determined to keep his word to his wife and terminate his employment as Victor's lawyer. To his surprise, Victor didn't chew him up and spit him out like he thought he would. But maybe it was just Victor's surprise that Michael seemed to really mean it this time. But does he? I'm sure in the moment he did. But there's no way that Michael will turn on the guy that he considers a father figure if he really needs him. The whole breakup was just too easy. In fact, it might be that it wasn't a clean cut at all, and Michael just dug himself into a stickier mess inside of Victor's web. Michael knows too much, and Victor's war isn't over. And then there's Aristotle Dumas, who is somehow going to fit in. But Michael's been playing both sides with Jack and Victor. Will he just be Team Abbott now? That would be surprising after all he's done for Victor, that he'd leave him now, permanently. It must be leading to something. But if Victor needed Michael, we can't be as sure as Lauren is that Michael wouldn't have to go back on his word to her. Because if he didn't, it might cause a guilt that Michael wouldn't be able to forgive Lauren for, even if her motivation was for his benefit. Want more details? We got you. Soap Central has the best full lie and R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not seriously do MOT. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Next week on The Young and the Restless, it's time to celebrate in Genoa City, but will Tracy be in the mood? Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, May 26th to Friday, May 30th, 2025. Tracy Abbott was away when Diane did her big reveal of the refresh she had done on the Abbott mansion. Diane stunned Jack and Kyle when she brought them to the house and showed all the changes she had made. Jack was worried that his childhood memories would be erased with the new paint and wallpaper, but Diane managed to make him feel like he was home with improvements. However, the same couldn't be said for Billy, who was crushed that it no longer felt like he was home when he walked through the door, and worse, that the memory and vibe of John Abbott were no longer in the house. Next week, Diane waits on bated breath for Tracy to see the updated mansion for the first time. Will Tracy love it like Jack does, or will she feel like Billy? After telling his mom how afraid he was that his hatred of Victor would make him become his worst self, Kyle got a text from Audra asking him to meet her for a drink. Audra claimed she had an idea she wanted to run by Kyle, despite Claire's warnings for Kyle to stay away from his ex, and even reminding him to stay sweet by sending a basket of cookies. Kyle can't help but let his curiosity get the better of him. Next week, Kyle meets Audra at the GCAC, but he surprises her by not taking her bait. Kyle tells Audra he can't get on board with her idea, even though she claims it would benefit him as well. Next week, the birthday accolades for Nikki continue. Victor treated his wife to a romantic dinner, but promised her more, and that's exactly what she's going to get when Jay Rodriguez comes to town as a party planner. While Victor and Claire have their own plans cooking, Victoria and Pietro are hoping for a very good night. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, May 27 promise some major moments as Victor Newman and Adam Newman strike back against Billy Abbott. It's an all-out war between Newman Media and Abbott Communications. However, this retaliation is likely about Billy's attempt to partner up with Aristotle Dumas. Rumor has it that Dumas wants to take over Chancellor, and as Victor gifted this to his wife, he doesn't like the idea of anyone ripping it away. Victor snagged Chancellor out from under Billy, but in true mustache fashion, he expects zero repercussions. After all, Victor doesn't want anyone to turn around and rain on his wife's parade, so it looks like he'll rock the boat with Billy and hopes he'll cower. What hit piece will Newman Media spotlight on Billy to bring him down now? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Speaking of Dumas, his name will also cross the lips of Lily Winters as she demands answers from Amanda Sinclair about her billionaire boss. Fans heard Amanda talking to Dumas on the phone during the Monday, May 26 episode, so his intentions are genuine. Can the lawyer get through to her friend about this? Dumas does seem to want to protect Winters and admires Lily, Devin Hamilton Winters, as well as Nate Hastings. However, can she convince Lily of this during the May 27 show? Finally, Lauren Fenmore will worry about Michael Baldwin's decisions. He recently quit his job with Victor, making the decision to put her first as the assignments Victor placed him on left her worried and stressed out. He did what she wanted him to do, so how can she be concerned about Michael's choices? Will he go back on his decision to leave his job as Victor's attorney? He's done it before, which was pointed out multiple times during the Friday, May 23 show, so will he do it again? The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Aristotle Dumas continues to dominate storylines, even though the character has yet to be seen in the land of Genoa City. Many fans have speculated that the billionaire mogul would arrive on the scene to crash Nikki Newman's birthday bash, and from the sounds of it, he will, but not the way fans may think. Looking at Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of May 26 to 30, Amanda Sinclair will be forced to make a tough decision during the Thursday, May 29 show. This is interesting and insightful, since Nikki's big birthday event takes place on the Friday, May 30 episode. Plus, Dumas is also set to send a cryptic message to Genoa City on Friday's show. Since most of the residents of GC will be at Nikki's shindig, it's hard not to think that Dumas will send this message at that moment in time. But what kind of move will Dumas pull, and will he rope in his lawyer to execute it? Amanda isn't overly close to the Newmans, but she is probably invited to Nikki's party as the whole town will be there. Will Dumas ask Amanda to issue a warning to the great and powerful Victor Newman while she's there? Then again, could Dumas make a big statement himself and simply ask Amanda to oversee the details of organizing it while she's at the Newman Ranch? Either way, it looks like he'll place Amanda in a sticky situation. It's clear that Victor is Dumas's target. After all, during the Monday, May 26 episode, fans caught a glimpse of a phone call conversation between Amanda and her mystery boss. Amanda was updating the mogul on the fact that she tried to tell Lily Winters, Devin Hamilton Winters, and Nate Hastings that all he's interested in doing is protecting them and their company, but they didn't believe her. She told Dumas that they still wanted a meeting, which she knows is not possible. Dumas's cryptic message to GC may be a warning, but it won't be one directed to the Winters family. Still, how will Dumas relay this? Will he send Amanda to Nikki's bash with an audio recording, skywriting? Will Dumas deliver Nikki an extravagant gift with a note indicating that Chancellor is his, or warning that it will be? Then again, as Nikki is opening gifts, perhaps a mystery one appears with only a letter inside a big box. Those who follow the Young and the Restless Melissa Ordway know that she, husband Justin Gaston and daughters Olivia and Sophie moved to Tennessee some time ago. However, given that she's still recurring as Abby on the CBS soap, the family often travels back and forth from their new home to Los Angeles, and boy, what a trip back they had. The actress posted 11 photos and one video that gave fans a glimpse into their most recent trip, which took place over a week's time, and shared, "What a week in LA. Sunshine, good food, great friends, work, and yes, even a car break-in. Never a dull moment." However, Ordway made it clear that no matter what, they love Los Angeles. One of the pics gave a first-hand look into the damage caused to their red and black Jeep Wrangler, with glass from the back window shattered on the ground. However, as Ordway mentioned, it wasn't all doom and gloom. There were plenty of smiles to go around over great food, fun in the sun, and more. A couple of her castmates quickly jumped into the comments to express their concern, including Tracy E. Bregman, who stated, "Happy you were here, and OMG, I'm so sorry." Eileen Davidson, who plays Ordway's TV mom Ashley, added, "Oh no," as Michelle Stafford sent her some love in the form of heart emojis asterisk. "We're glad the actress and her family are safe, and we enjoy every time Ordway is able to bring Abby back to Geno City." When the young and Tiegi Restilia star Christian LeBlanc was a special guest on State of Mind, the YouTube series created by Maurice Benard, he let it all hang out. The discussion began with lighthearted stories about his white hair and about how they first met judging daytime Emmy reels, but quickly turned serious as the actors talked about mental health and depression. As the second of 8 kids in his large Southern family, LeBlanc revealed that he's attended multiple interventions, lost his brother to AIDS when he was just 25, and as a gay man, still suffers from homophobia and intolerance. When asked his thoughts about teaching mental health in schools, LeBlanc admitted that there are a lot of things that should be taught early in life. "In the regular rhythm of education, we are not exposed to so many things that are the main force driving some people," he explained. "So therefore, we are pretty much in a bubble with the people who are driven by the same things. And then you think that you are just the bizarre one." Not until after Stonewall did anyone take a gay man serious. "They were sick people," he added, "and I still live with the legacy of that as a gay man. I still don't hold my husband's hand, of 28 years, in public. Can't do it." Although he chuckled as he confessed, "I mean, we're not big PDA people. I'm not a handholder as it is." Although the Emmy winner allows that things are better now than in years past, there is still homophobia and intolerance everywhere in the world. "The thing about the good old days is they were just horrible for everybody," LeBlanc declared. "History is more than one story, and it's written by the wealthy and the franchised. The winners write the history. But when you feel you're not being heard and nobody knows who you are and you're covered up, then trouble happens. Mental health problems, violence, all those things. My brother was treated as somebody who had a special cancer that only happened to him because of a moral failing at 25. And he died because of it. Don't make any mistake. The government killed him. Sadly, the more things change, the more they stay the same." Thankfully, LeBlanc assured Benard and his fans that he has the tools he needs to stay in a good mental place, despite all the pressures society places on him and everyone else. You can watch the entirety of their fascinating conversation in the video below. All comments are subject to our community guidelines. Soaps in Depth does not endorse the opinions and views shared by our readers in our comment sections. Our comments section is a place where readers can engage in healthy, productive, lively, and respectful discussions. Offensive language, hate speech, personal attacks, and / or defamatory statements are not permitted. Advertising or spam is also prohibited. The Young and the Restless spoilers and recaps for Monday, May 26, imply some interesting moments, as the show opened with Amanda Sinclair talking to her mysterious boss, Aristotle Dumas. Of course, Phyllis Summers was lingering around the corner of Crimson, where Amanda was having a coffee and talking to Dumas. Amanda insisted that she couldn't understand why they don't believe you're trying to protect the company. She also added that they still want to meet with you, and she assured him that she knew that would never happen. It's safe to say they Amanda was referring to was Lily Winters, Divin Hamilton Winters, and Nate Hastings. With that said, after she got off the phone, Phyllis exposed herself, and Amanda was quite disappointed that her friend would stoop so low and eavesdrop. Phyllis tried to once again pitch a meeting with Dumas, and Amanda said this could never be an option. Phyllis even pitched an idea where Amanda could simply drop a text to when and where she was meeting Dumas, and Phyllis would stroll by, but the lawyer once again declined this idea. Amanda questioned why Phyllis wanted to meet with Dumas so badly when tons of investors would be willing to throw their money at her new venture. After much prodding, Phyllis finally admitted that she wanted to meet with Dumas to see if he was really planning a hostile takeover of Chancellor. If that's the case, she was hoping to convince him to let her lead the company. Across town, Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott were out for a job, which is exactly what Billy needed. Sally questioned if he needed a nice distraction from Phyllis, and Billy assured Sally that his ex wasn't living rent-free in his mind. He's happy he's running Abbott Communications with Sally and is very confident in her abilities and the company's future success. Still, Sally was concerned about Phyllis's recent threat. After all, this isn't the first time she's had to go toe-to-toe with her fellow GC redhead. Sally knows how vicious Phyllis can get, and Billy tried to fluff this off. Sally went on to say she plans to focus on the good that is going on in her life, but she's ready to battle Phyllis too if it comes to that. Over at the GCAC, Claire Newman catches up with Kyle Abbott. Claire is starved and ready to eat, but this will have to wait as Kyle promised Audra Charles that he'd meet her for a drink and listen to a proposal of hers. Claire's disappointed and tries to challenge him on this, but Kyle's really curious about what Audra is up to. Claire asks to come too, but Kyle shoots that idea down. It'll be a quick drink, he promises. Meanwhile, Audra is in the jazz lounge, waiting for Kyle to arrive, when Holden Novak approaches her table. She outright asks him to leave, but he doesn't listen and takes a seat. Holden guesses that she's meeting Kyle, and his guess is right. He questions why they are meeting and notes that he's just watching her back, like he did in Lay. Kyle comes downstairs and sees the two together and grins. Kyle proceeds to interrupt them, joins Audra while Holden goes upstairs. Kyle tells the brunette that Holden is an open book and not really hiding his feelings about her. He then tells Audra he's surprised about her text. Didn't they just call it truce this morning? Audra insists that why waste time supporting each other, right? This is when Audra presents her proposal, a publicity war between her company and Abbott. They can play up their rivalry on social media. They can even play up their past working relationship at Glissade. There can be leaked memos, and the media would eat it up. It would promote both her company and increase Abbott's sales. Kyle likes the idea, but is a bit skeptical. It seems to benefit her newbie cosmetics company versus the well-established Abbott. Audra relays that it would still benefit Abbott and its bottom line. This is when she points out that in the movie Miracle on 34th Street, Macy's didn't have the customers they wanted. Kris Kringle sent them to their competitors' stores. She also pointed out that Abbott's sunscreen increased its sales when Kyle showed off his goods on social media during a wardrobe malfunction that went viral. She points out publicity stunts work all the time. The two are flirting back and forth throughout their entire conversation, and this is when Kyle smirks and says he'll think about her plan. Meanwhile, Holden is upstairs with Claire, and he seems to be working her last nerve instead of charming her like he has done in the past. Holden starts off by questioning why Kyle would rather have a drink with Audra than his beautiful girlfriend. He then asked Claire if she knew whether or not the two had more than professional ties in the past. Claire questions why Holden cares so much, and he notes that he's just curious you saw them together, and it seems as if there's more to their story. Claire is agitated and wants to change the subject, so the conversation turns to her grandpa, Victor Newman. Claire almost gets a little defensive as she notes her grandfather is a great, kind, and generous man. Holden states he can see they are very close, which could get sticky considering his biggest rival is Jack Abbott. Holden goes on to say it must be hard for Claire to maintain a relationship with Kyle, considering this feud. Kyle returns from his drink with Audra, and he asks Claire if she's okay, as she tries to fluff things off, but it's clear Holden got to her. Claire asks what Audra's proposal was and Kyle tells her it's a publicity stunt war. Claire acknowledges that it sounds like a good idea. However, Kyle states that the only problem he has with it is that this would be mutually beneficial for both companies, and he doesn't want to see her succeed, and she certainly doesn't want to see him succeed, so what's the catch? Back at Crimson, Phyllis is trying to convince Amanda to run Chancellor with her. She just knows that if she has a couple of moments with Dumas, she can convince him of this. Amanda makes it crystal clear that she is quite happy with where she is right now. This is when Phyllis states she has to make this work, just as Sally and Billy walk by. Billy asks her what she needs to make work, exactly. This is when Phyllis goes on a rant. She starts declaring how big her comeback is going to be, which is when Sally retorts that it sounds like Billy letting her go was the best thing that ever happened to her. This agitates Phyllis, and the two women start going at it verbally, insulting each other and bringing up each other's pasts. Phyllis eventually storms out because the room has gotten too crowded for her. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Phyllis is dead set on meeting with Aristotle Dumas to pitch her leadership skills for Chancellor to get back at Billy. In a dramatic and emotionally charged revelation, The Young and the Restless takes a bold turn as Amanda Sinclair discloses a long-hidden truth that leaves Lily Winters reeling. Aristotle Dumas is her biological father. This revelation not only alters Lily's understanding of her past, but shakes the very foundation of her identity. Lily had sensed something was off. Whispers, glances, and Amanda's odd behavior hinted at a secret buried deep. Her fears were confirmed during a late-night conversation, where Amanda, overcome with emotion, confessed the truth. Aristotle, a name that had recently surfaced with urgency and mystery, wasn't a stranger. He was the man who had been silently watching over her for years, acting in the shadows to protect her from hidden dangers. The news stunned Lily. Her mother had never spoken of Aristotle. No memories, no photographs, no affectionate stories. Amanda assured her that Aristotle's actions stemmed from protection, not malice. Still, the secrecy surrounding his identity made Lily question his true motives. Was this really a father's love or another calculated manipulation? Complicating matters was Kane, Lily's ex-husband, whose name often arose in discussions of danger. Though Kane had motive and emotional baggage, Amanda dismissed him as lacking the sophistication necessary to orchestrate such elaborate surveillance. Aristotle, she insisted, was operating on a different level, with precision and purpose. Amanda revealed that Aristotle feared exposing himself too soon, believing that doing so could endanger both Lily and Victor Newman. Aristotle was convinced that Victor's enemies might use Lily as leverage, a chilling possibility that reframed Lily's recent experiences, security breaches, unexplained delays, and covert observations, as protective measures rather than threats. Despite Amanda's reassurances, Lily struggled to accept this newfound reality. Why had her mother hidden Aristotle? Why emerge now, when Victor's political and business dealings are under scrutiny? Amanda disclosed that Aristotle's reappearance wasn't spontaneous. It had been orchestrated behind the scenes, carefully timed and controlled to avoid public exposure. According to Amanda, Aristotle was finally ready to share everything: his identity, his motivations, and the reasons her mother left him. For Lily, who had long wrestled with the silence surrounding her father, this confrontation held the potential for either closure or further heartbreak. As Lily processed the emotional weight of Amanda's confession, she experienced a range of emotions: guilt, curiosity, fear, and a reluctant hope. The secrets now unraveling had been buried beneath years of silence and pain. Still, they stirred something powerful in her, a desire to uncover the full truth and confront the man who had shaped her life from a distance. By dawn, Lily resolved to face Aristotle, but on her terms. She would demand honesty and transparency, seeking answers to long unspoken questions. Why now? Why remain hidden? Why allow Victor to become collateral in a secretive war? Elsewhere, a subplot unfolded at the Genoa City Athletic Club, where Claire recounted Nicky Newman's public reprimand of a junior executive. In classic Nicky fashion, she dismantled his arrogance with a controlled fury, reminding her team that integrity still matters. Meanwhile, Kyle, only half focused on Claire's story, received a message from Audra, hinting at yet another unfolding mystery. As Genoa City stirred awake, Lily stood ready to step into the unknown. Aristotle Dumas was no longer just a name. He was the keeper of long-buried truths, and Lily was determined to claim her legacy and find the resolution she deserved. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Aristotle Dumas continues to dominate storylines, even though the character has yet to be seen in the land of Genoa City. Many fans have speculated that the billionaire mogul would arrive on the scene to crash Nicky Newman's birthday bash. And from the sounds of it, he will, but not the way fans may think. Looking at Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of May 26 to 30, Amanda Sinclair will be forced to make a tough decision during the Thursday, May 29 show. This is interesting and insightful, since Nicky's big birthday event takes place on the Friday, May 30 episode. Plus, Dumas is also set to send a cryptic message to Genoa City on Friday's show. Since most of the residents of GC will be at Nicky's shindig, it's hard not to think that Dumas will send this message at that moment in time. But what kind of move will Dumas pull, and will he rope in his lawyer to execute it? Amanda isn't overly close to the Newmans, but she is probably invited to Nicky's party as the whole town will be there. Will Dumas ask Amanda to issue a warning to the great and powerful Victor Newman while she's there? Then again, could Dumas make a big statement himself and simply ask Amanda to oversee the details of organizing it while she's at the Newman Ranch? Either way, it looks like he'll place Amanda in a sticky situation. It's clear that Victor is Dumas's target. After all, during the Monday, May 26 episode, fans caught a glimpse of a phone call conversation between Amanda and her mystery boss. Amanda was updating the mogul on the fact that she tried to tell Lily Winters, Divin Hamilton Winters, and Nate Hastings that all he's interested in doing is protecting them and their company, but they didn't believe her. She told Dumas that they still wanted a meeting, which she knows is not possible. Dumas's cryptic message to GC may be a warning, but it won't be one directed to the Winters family. Still, how will Dumas relay this? Will he send Amanda to Nicky's bash with an audio recording, skywriting? Will Dumas deliver Nicky an extravagant gift with a note indicating that Chancellor is his, or warning that it will be? Then again, as Nicky is opening gifts, perhaps a mystery one appears with only a letter inside a big box. Regardless, the Young and the Restless spoilers imply that fans were hoping to capture a glimpse of Dumas, and while they may find out who he is during the week of May 26 to 30, it sounds like the rest of the town will be kept in the dark. Viewers of The Young and the Restless needed a scorecard to keep up with all the changes going on in Genoa City over the last week. The show kept viewers entertained and enthralled as the lives of the Newmans, Abbotts, Winters, and their friends and foes continued to unfold. Michael's no stranger to going up against tough adversaries, but we never saw him more emotional than when he stood up to Victor Newman. Pressured in a good way by his loving wife, Lauren, Michael went to Victor's to resign. We weren't expecting to see Victor so emotionally hurt by Michael's decision. Frankly, we expected to see lots of yelling and screaming. Michael leaving Victor was a reminder that not all breakups on soaps are romantic ones. This split gave us all the feels. Like Michael, Amanda's a savvy, competent attorney. And also like Michael, Amanda has feelings. Kudos to Y and R for bringing Amanda back and having her play roles in multiple stories. She's not only Aristotle Dumas' attorney, she's also Devon's ex. The back-and-forth banter Amanda and Abby exchanged at Crimson Lights was fun to watch. It's clear that Amanda still has feelings for Devon. Note to everyone in Genoa City, Amanda is not the bad guy. She walked in on Devon, whom she was in a relationship with, cheating on her with Abby. Sure, Devon and Abby made a go of it, got married, and they share a son, Dominic. Is Amanda supposed to be happy about that? No, it doesn't make her evil because she makes a few digs at Abby. Devon's apprehension over Dumas is understandable, but Amanda is right when she says that she's never given Devon a reason to distrust her. The subtext that Devon can't say the same is hanging in the air and makes the scenes with Abby, Devon, and Amanda highly watchable. Y and R did not forget about Amanda's friendship with Phyllis either. It's tied to the show's business story as Phil is trying to make an ally out of Dumas. We don't know where this is going, but we have the feeling that Y and R knows exactly where it's headed. The holidays came early in terms of gifts, as far as Cole is concerned. We weren't sure if we'd see him back in a sick bed at either the Genoa City Athletic Club or at Genoa City Memorial. We were happy to see him walk into Crimson Lights unassisted and reunite with Vicky and his former brother-in-law Nick. There are no guarantees in life, and it's always possible that Cole could relapse, but we're hoping he doesn't. Cole was a favorite on the canvas for most of the 1990s, and his return to the canvas makes Y and R feel even more like Y and R. The soap lords wouldn't keep Cole and Claire apart for decades just to tear them apart. Would they? While Cole and Vicky were getting some screen time, the scene shifted to the main room at Crimson Lights, where we saw Nick and Sharon have a friendly chat. Currently, Nick is friends with both Sharon and Phyllis. Is the show leaning towards Nick reconciling with one or the other? Phyllis certainly needs him these days. Sharon, if you look closely, does too. She also was Martin's victim and nearly lost her life. Just because Sharon's processing it differently doesn't mean she doesn't need Nick. The Newman heir may wish sometimes that he could clone himself. Then he could be there for both of the women in his life. One of the many moments that caught our eye this week on Y and R came about when Diane had a heart-to-heart talk with Kyle, who was questioning his moral character. Why couldn't he change the way Claire had? Without sounding like she was accusing Claire of anything, Diane gently pointed out to her son that maybe Claire hadn't. That would be a compelling story to address. It was a bit odd that nearly everyone wrote Claire's actions off as understandable, as she was Jordan's pawn. But Claire was a grown woman. Could she be partially faking her sweet act? The person who questioned Claire's character, and was scoffed at for doing so, was Summer. But now that Summer's flown off to Italy, there's no one to raise an eyebrow around Claire. But there's no need to be suspicious. Claire is a doll, right? Audra is going after what she wants in life, and that makes her admirable. Victor is using her to prove that he's right about Kyle's lack of moral character. Kyle puts on a charming front, but we can't help but get the impression that he's attracted to Audra. If he were to succumb to her charms and break Claire's heart, well, Victor wouldn't be wrong, would he? If Kyle does break Claire's heart, neither Audra's nor Victor's hands will be clean. We've written about this before, but Y and R has truly cranked up the romance in Genoa City. Yay! We witnessed Victor bestow Nikki with a beautiful necklace, Jack and Diane make belated honeymoon plans, and Lauren and Michael dance the night away at the Jazz Lounge. We heard more I love yous in one episode that some programs give us in an entire week. Kudos to Y and R for keeping the emphasis on love. It's a welcome sight to see couples being in love as they work through their issues. Speaking of work, it's also nice to see people working too. We don't need to sit through budget meetings at Jibod or watch Esther do inventory at Crimson Lights. But it's on to see people always talking about working and not doing any work. peppered in work scenes makes work environments appear more authentic. Conversely, it's nice to see characters doing the everyday events that viewers do in real life. Characters on soaps have birthdays, and yay to Nikki's big day being celebrated. She's a beloved figure, and we're certainly up for seeing more than 3 or 4 people in a scene. Eli and are used to specialize in big galas at the Colonnade Room, where several families would come together for an event. Now, the economics of soaps call for smaller casts per episode. Nikki's been in Genoa City for quite some time. It'd be nice to see numerous folks turn out for her big day. Lily offering Damien a job has intrigued us. What's her goal? She has stated that she's aware of his attraction to her, but is Lily perhaps denying an attraction of her own? She may be unaware of this, but it's going to take a lot for Damien to fully extricate himself from someone as powerful as Dumas is. Lily's already backtracking on using Damien as a spy. Is she fearful for his safety, or does she believe Amanda that Dumas doesn't want to hurt the Winters clan? Amanda's return has given us some answers about the enigmatic Aristotle Dumas. If we're to believe her, Aristotle means no harm to Devon and Lily and their company. Who could he be? Is Dumas, in reality, Kane, Lily's former husband, or Tucker, Devon's dad? Some have speculated it's the presumed dead Drusilla. Whoever it is, we hope that we get to meet Dumas soon. The show has done a great job of building anticipation. We need a payoff. The Lie and Our week ended with Michael Baldwin saying farewell to Victor, one of the show's more dramatic moments this past week. We're ready now for a hello. It's time for Dumas to make his grand appearance. Victor's not the only one wondering if that's even his true name or not.